Your thoughts shape your leadership. Leadership shapes communities, and communities shape the future. Your mindset is your greatest leadership asset, and it needs to be recognized as such. Recent brain imaging from Queen's University found that we have over 6,000 distinct thoughts a day. And that's just during our waking hours. They tracked changes in brain activity to measure when our minds shift from one thought to the next. That's hundreds of mental shifts every hour, whether we notice them or not. And here on the Gulf Coast, where the blue economy shapes our jobs, tourism, food systems, and even national security, those mental shifts aren't just personal. They need to be strategic. Your mindset is your greatest leadership asset. Our brains are always thinking, always buzzing, active with those 6,000 thoughts. But self-reporting and informal surveys suggest that most people think more negatively than positively. In fact, studies show that we react more intensely to a negative comment than to a positive one. We replay moments of embarrassment, pain, or fear on a loop, and we call it being realistic. Think about it. You are at a board meeting, and you are hearing great reviews about the new system you put into place. It's making your team more efficient. People love the way you connected these two branches of leadership. You get 9 compliments. But then, you receive one piece of criticism. Tell me, what are you going to be thinking about for the rest of the day? I'm willing to bet it's the criticism. And there's a reason why positive thinking doesn't come naturally to most of us. It's not just bad habits or negative circumstances. It's actually in our biology. Psychologists call it negativity bias. Our brains are wired to focus on what's wrong. And there's a reason why it's in our biology as well. It's not just there for fun. Way back, our ancestors' survival depended on scanning the area for danger, not noticing beauty. There were always threats that they needed to be aware of in order to survive. Things like wild animals or poisonous plants. But luckily, in today's day and age, we don't really need to be on the lookout for dangerous wild animals coming to attack us. But this negativity bias has stayed with us. And friends, it is hurting us in modern leadership. If we want to lead well, here in the blue economy and beyond, we cannot ignore mindset. Preparedness doesn't begin with a plan. It starts with a thought. What you think matters. My 3-step framework breaks down this process, and it emphasizes the neuroplasticity factor in our brains to help us take our thoughts captive. Identify, investigate, and instill. The first step is to identify. Identify the negative thoughts in your head and recognize that negativity bias. Are you giving more weight to worrisome thoughts? Living here on the Gulf Coast, are you constantly fearing the next hurricane or natural disaster? As a leader in the blue economy, are your thoughts ruminating on the what-ifs of coastal tourism? I challenge you to name the thought. What is that one thought that pops into your head every time you start to doubt yourself? What is it? What's that thought that keeps you up at night? What is the thought that keeps you from stepping into opportunities that you know that you are qualified for? The first step in taking our thoughts captive is to identify the negative thoughts and identify our need for a shift. After you've identified the thought, it's time to investigate it. Where did this thought come from? Is it an inherited belief that's been passed down through generations in your family? Or is it born out of your own lived experience? Where are you when these thoughts show up? Do they come in certain environments or around certain people? Or maybe it's when you're alone, all by yourself. Friends, we investigate everything else in our lives. We read restaurant reviews before ordering dinner. We read labels at the grocery store before picking an item. We research a company before taking a job. We research everything. But when it comes to our thoughts, we rarely pause to question them. We give them a free pass. Identifying your thoughts is crucial, but so is investigating them. Because when you start to investigate your thoughts, you reclaim the power to decide which ones get to stay and which ones need to go. Investigating your thoughts isn't optional. It is essential. The third step of the framework is to instill new thoughts. And this isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's backed by neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. Every time you think a thought, neurons fire together. The more you repeat it, the stronger that pathway becomes. It's like walking a path in the tall grass. At first, it's difficult, and you are trudging your way through that tall grass. But the more you repeat it, what happens? The clearer and easier that path becomes. That's what happens in our heads. And that's why negative thoughts feel so automatic. It's because they're those well-worn paths. But neuroplasticity means that you can change them. And friends, we are instilling new thoughts. When you instill something, it is a gradual, ongoing process, full of intentionality and grace. You cannot change your thoughts overnight. I wish you could, but you cannot. But you can make that first path through the tall grass. You can take the first step. And as you repeat it, a clearer and easier path, a healthy path, will develop. And this principle is more than scientific. It's biblical as well. There are so many verses that talk about our thoughts and our mindset. My personal favorite comes from 2 Corinthians, where we're instructed to take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. This means that we shouldn't just let our thoughts run wild in our heads. We control our thoughts, not the other way around. We need to take our thoughts captive and reframe them for good. And now, what would our communities look like if we as leaders practiced this framework and took our thoughts captive? I believe it looks like energized innovation. Leaders who constantly push the boundaries of what's possible. They aren't paralyzed by fear or stuck in that classic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mindset. They see setbacks as opportunities to adapt and reasons to keep experimenting. Think about it. What is a system, process, or facility in your sphere of influence that's working just fine? Not great, but just fine. Do you step up and imagine a better way, a faster process, a more efficient system? Or do you let it be because it's just fine? Imagine if we didn't settle for fine and we actively work toward improvement with energy and vigor. It's all in our mindset and the way we view the world. Leaders who take their thoughts captive, they value shared empathy and a sense of collective responsibility. They see themselves as stewards and that everyone has a part to play. When someone is struggling, there are two different reactions that we can have. We can move toward the problem, or we can move away from the problem. As a leader that's taking your thoughts captive, I challenge you to move toward the struggle. You are the one who can bring the life preserver and work toward a brighter future. Leaders who take their thoughts captive don't leave people and economies to drown. Instead, they move toward the problem, to work toward a future together. And finally, leaders who take their thoughts captive possess a hope-fueled vision, perhaps the most powerful mindset of all. Hope isn't wishful thinking. It's not pretending that everything is okay even when it's not. Hope is a mindset, a discipline that allows us to work toward a better future even when the present feels uncertain. Hope fuels vision. Instead of being trapped in cycles of fear, what if the storm comes? What if the industry collapses? What if this happens? Or what if this happens? Leaders ask, what if we rebuild stronger? What if we build something new? What if we leave our communities better than the way we found them? Mindset is your most powerful leadership asset, and it needs to be recognized as such. Humor me for just a second. What if you as a leader decided to actively take your thoughts captive, practice the identify, investigate, and instill framework? What would happen? I believe that you would start thinking with energized innovation, practicing true empathy for those that you serve, in it possessing a hope-fueled vision. That's a leader I would love to follow. That's a leader who will change the world. In a region shaped by storms and resilience, we cannot afford to let our mindset dictate negative decisions. We need to take our thoughts captive, identify the lies, investigate the roots, and instill a mindset strong enough to lead through the storms and the sunshine, on the mountaintops and in the valleys. Your mindset shapes your leadership. Leadership shapes communities, and communities shape the future. Leaders, I urge you to take your thoughts captive.